Hi everybody, Lloyd here. As I stated in my post on the Facebook page the other day, I was going to follow that up with a explanation of contours. So I decided I'll do a bit of a video here and show you a free mapping tool that's available, provided by the Queensland Government. Talk a little bit about contours and tie that with the swales a little bit more. I understand obviously there's people in the group that have a lot more knowledge than myself. More than happy for anyone to comment and add some more detail to what I've given. Or likewise, if you've got any questions, feel free once again to put them in a comment and I'll endeavour to look back and fill those gaps in. So the concepts of swales and contours are really starting to lean into permaculture. You don't necessarily have to be into permaculture, obviously, to use them. Even if I just leave the permaculture topic alone and just talk about, growing food for yourself. Let's say you're starting from a blank slate, as we are. We've just been here maybe about 2 years. You really need to do a lot of planning and a lot of observation. And part of that planning is getting access to resources that allow you to get a better understanding on what you're working with. And today, with the contour mapping, for instance, I'm using this tool here, this mapping site called Queensland Globe. Can be found at qldglobe.information.qld.gov.au. It's completely free. You can search for localities, areas, and obviously you can search for your own address, and then you can zoom in and out with your map. You can add the layer on for the contours, and that can give you a broad idea on what you're working with, to help you start to just drill down into more detail when it comes to actually planning your swales out. So I've gone to places and I've searched up Kingaroy here. I'm just going to do a little bit of zooming and panning just to give you a rough idea on what it looks like with the contour layers. So obviously all the yellow lines represent the contours. They're all labelled with their height above sea level. The rings show the dips or peaks. Looking at this area where you've got the contour lines extremely close together and you've got a 20-metre drop between these three lines, it's quite steep as compared with this area up towards the top centre, where that 20-metre drop is spread over a much longer distance, so therefore the slope is much more gentle. I'm going to cut over across to my property now, and for you to do your own, what you do is just go to the top left and click on search and put your address in, and then you'll be able to spot your property and zoom in on it. First thing I'm going to do is show you how to add the contour layers, and you do that by clicking on layers and then elevation. Don't be alarmed if you see everything go yellow. That just means you need to turn some layers off, which I'm showing here. Just unclick those bottom 4 layers, leaving the top 2, and then you'll be good to go. So what you're seeing here on my contours, once again, they're set for 1 metre depth. And what you're seeing here is that the contours are starting at the top corner of my property and going diagonally across. And you can just see on the bottom corner of the screen several of my existing swales, which I'm just marking in now. An advantage, of course, that I've got by placing the swales at this top corner of the property is that it does in fact prevent flooding of the sheds, which are further down the slope when we have a major rain event. Here I am about to demonstrate how to use the A-frame to mark out your contours. You just need your A-frame, obviously, a hammer, and some stakes to hammer in as you go. So as you can see, I've got my A-frame, The most basic setup you can have is a string with a weight attached to it, along with a mark in the centre of the cross piece to help you find your level. But also, as per one of the suggestions on my last post, you can add a level if you like onto your cross piece, which I've just done. That makes the whole job a lot easier and quicker. So I'm starting here by picking a spot to hammer in the first stake. I've got all the other stakes spread out approximately where I think it's going to end up. Now I'm standing up the A-frame and lining up the first leg with that first stake, and then with the second leg I'm just moving that up and down until I get it level. Once it's level, i.e. the strings in the centre or the bubbles in the centre on the level itself, I then put the A-frame down and hammer in the next stake. And then I just continue on as long as I want to make the swale, placing the first leg where I put the last stake, and once again adjusting that second leg until it's level. And then I'll just simply lay the A-frame down and bang in the next stake. And you just continue along, repeating that process until you've reached the end of your swale. Once the stakes are all lined up, you've got a line to follow for digging your swale out. You just need to pile up the dirt that you dig out on the lower side to create the berm, and the berm is where you'll do your planting. So this is that section of the contour line finished, ready for you to start digging out the swale. And here's another view of some of the existing swales. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave some comments or questions down below, and I'll endeavour to get back to you. Thank you.